I'm Cynthia Rubin, Arts Award Chair, and as you know, this year for the first time, we're giving a Lifetime Achievement, a Distinguished Artist Award for Lifetime Achievement in Digital Art. And we began by actually breaking the rules and giving 2 this year because we wanted to recognize the wide diversity in the field. So I'm happy to introduce Roman Verostko, who, as you can see, was given the award for his pioneering contributions to the aesthetics of algorithmic art, fusing programming and culture and elegant, masterful printmaking.
Thank you, Cynthia. I'm going to take this 10 minutes to go through several projects and address one aspect of my work and the transition from, I guess, what I'm calling brush in hand to brush in machine. And I'm calling it writing the score for art. I'm showing you first one of my early paintings that I made around the time that I entered the Art Institute of Pittsburgh in 1947. I was born in 1929 and grew up in the Depression in the coal fields in western Pennsylvania. And these coke ovens were something I grew up with. I could see them every day. At night especially, they had this beautiful glow. Smoke was terrible. Houses were black with soot. And this painting represented a lot for me in the history of my life and my work. If I move forward some 20 years later, after many other experiences, I can show one of my first major pieces of work. It's reinforced concrete, a load-bearing wall. It's located in a monastery at St. Vincent Arch Abbey, Latrobe, Pennsylvania. This work measures 8 feet vertical, or actually 8 by 8, and it was literally a load-bearing wall. It grew from one aspect of my work only. I wouldn't be able to show the many phases and aspects of it, but one had to do with an occupation for a period of time out of my experience with abstract expressionism in New York, and working with brush and brush strokes. In this instance, I took 2 brush strokes. What's particularly interesting about the brush stroke, not just my concern, but that of many painters of the period, was literally the reality of the experience of the movement and the fact of the brush. Even Lichtenstein made a brush stroke. I remember the influences of painters like Robert Motherwell. In any event, here's an instance where, out of some perhaps literally hundreds and hundreds of drawings and paintings, I chose to try to translate this into concrete. And in this instance, it's 6-inch depth styrofoam with hot irons, burning the strokes into styrofoam in an effort to achieve some of that spontaneity and some of the qualities of the stroke itself. And so this was the consequence. I'd like to add that we should remember that after World War II, there was also a great interest in the New York School at the time of Oriental influences from Zen as well in the practice of painting. So the transition from art idea guiding hand to art idea guiding machine occupied me for a period of time. I think my first really change came because of the interest I had in art, in electronics, art, and technology, which in the late 1960s, about the time that I did the wall, I was also involved with creating synchronized audiovisual programs that were as I recall, I programmed those with a Kodak synchronizer. Projection could be, like in this instance here, floor to ceiling. I had shown these at Marymount Manhattan in New York, at Yale, a number of places. I traveled with them, and these were my psalms in sound and image. Later, within just a few years, I had the opportunity to film from a computer screen a cube flopping to infinity and back at UNIVAC in St. Paul, Minnesota, when I took up work with the Minneapolis College of Art and Design. And I used that in a public lecture I had presented, and it drove me very much to take a course in Fortran and get involved with the problem of how to translate maybe something in art into a program.